What's going on, guys? Happy New Year's. It's been a while. Hope everyone had a pretty good holiday break. I'm gonna give you guys an update. This will be the first update of 2025. So yeah, let's take a look at the tank so far. I did make some minor changes, so we will kind of go over that in a little bit, but let's go ahead and take a look at some of the corals up top and some of the fish. No new fish has been added to the tank, so same stock. I don't think I want to be adding anything else. I was debating on adding a wrasse, an additional wrasse, but I don't think I'm going to be adding anything here. The lights are just barely coming on. It's probably like 20 minutes into the day here where the blues are on, so it's still kind of like, you know, kind of coming up alive here. So some of the corals are not quite completely open, and got some water stains here from the water change day. But this is like maybe 2 days after a water change, and man, I gotta tell you, like normally after a water change day, that's like the best time to film the tank or just appreciate your tank, because that's when it's like everything is just popping, everything is just like so clear and so nice. But yeah, so let's take a look at some of the corals here. So we have a bunch more frags that I had fallen, and I don't really cut it anymore. Like the fish in the back that would knock that little piece out, I'll just glue it to like one of these plugs, stick it in here, and just kind of let it do its thing. And it looks like it's, you know, you can see multiple branches coming out on some of these here. These are newer ones, so they haven't really encrusted yet. But like this one here, that's been encrusted, looking pretty nice. It's actually getting into the structure of the rocks too, so we'll see how that looks. And then this one here, I tried to put one here, but I don't know, that one seems like it's a location where a lot of the fish likes to swim across, and if it's not a established like frag, they'll just knock it off, and you kind of see how like that blue tank just kind of can just knock it off. Let's take a look at some of the corals real quick. So the graphite Monty is looking great. This thing is like solid like a rock. I think as it grows, and it'll probably grow pretty decently here, it'll expand, and I'll probably end up having to break it apart and just kind of putting it somewhere in the back or something like that. But yeah, we'll see what we have to do with that guy. Eventually I think it's going to just kind of take over this area here. This is the Hollywood Stunner Chalice. It's looking pretty good. It's growing kind of slowly, pretty nice. I don't know if I'm going to keep it completely or try to keep it, but just kind of growing it there just for fun, because that's like the only chalice that the angels are not picking at. So that's kind of insane that I can actually have a chalice in the main display here. Some mushrooms, some power balls that's just been kind of giving off the babies. This baby's finally starting to grow where it has its own little mouth and starting to show color. We have more frags in the sump area, so we'll kind of see what that is. The NAM hasn't moved, it's just been chilling there. Moving over here. Man, look at these. These are starting to grow nicely. I might have to end up picking this up and putting it somewhere else, because it's starting to take over this little rock that I have already, and I don't want it to take over the whole tank, just that. So we'll kind of see where we want to place it. Up here, more digis. Oh, look at this. Look at that green slimer. It's coming back. It's coming back. Well, one side's coming back. Hopefully it'll uncross on the other side. And we'll see what happens. Digis in the back. Got Monty. This Monty is looking really nice too. I wish that we had more green on the other side. It's just more red. Oh, the Monty that I had a piece of frag that I thought was dying. I put it up top here, and it's just taken off now. I think it's just going to do really well. Same thing with this piece of frag here. I thought that thing was dying, and that's starting to come back. Over here we have a bunch of magic carpets. These are like and over here we have a bunch of the magic carpets, and these are like the ones that kind of trying to grow, like the mother size ones. They get pretty big. Like this is like a 3-inch like disc. It basically takes up like the whole thing there. This is on a 2-inch disc, but this is already like 3 inches plus. Same thing with that guy when they actually fully expand. So that's gonna be pretty cool to see it kind of fully grow. See how big that grows. We got some tequila sunset mushrooms here. We got some of the shrimp here just chilling, both of the shrimps. Got one shrimp back there. They moved from, they used to be under the rocks here, and they just kind of move over here because they like it, they like the flow. And then the fire one is over here. He's always under this guy here. The urchins are doing their thing, man. I have a couple urchins in here. You see them just kind of chilling on that rock. Just kind of eating all the algae and then running around. I might have to trade in some of the urchin because there's not enough algae for them, all of them at least, because they're just eating them up too fast. I have to figure that out. But yeah, here's the fish. I still have the mirror on this side that's just glued on this side. I don't even know if it's working anymore because they just ignore it now, I think. They might just be too smart. The aggression seems like it's kind of like about the same now. It's not as bad. These guys always get picked on, but you know, they're holding their own now. As you can see, like the blue tang just kind of go after them. But they're getting pretty big if you look at them. You know, the little cleaner wrasse. That guy's so cool. I don't know if he's gonna get any bigger, but you know, pretty good size there. The tang's doing good. Both tangs. Oh, the whitetail one. This guy here. This guy's starting to fatten up. I was worried about him because remember when I got him, like this is the months, like maybe half a year ago. Yeah, it's actually over a year ago. He went through quarantine and everything. Everything was fine. He ate and everything, but like he was so skinny. He didn't eat enough or something. But now look at him. He is fattening up. I think he was like half that size when I got him, and he was just super skinny. But now, like, I'm not too worried about him. He's just eating really well. Look at the blue face angel back here. This guy's still shy. He likes to hide behind that rock right there. But he'll come when there's like food and stuff in front. He'll eat. He's grown pretty decently in size. I would say he was maybe about half that size. I would say that he's getting chunkier. He's definitely getting chunkier. I'm waiting for him to get about like the same size as this Regal, because this Regal is pretty much going to grow a little bit more, right? And the same thing with the blue. The blue is going to be pretty big, but I'm kind of curious to see if there's going to be more aggression when he gets bigger, because he's supposed to get pretty big versus the other fish, right? Compared to the size of the fish. But we'll see. We'll see if the aggression shows or not. All right. Do we have lights down here? Yes, we do. Okay, so let's take a look down here real quick. I'm gonna move some of this. Here's the sump. I took out the divider. Decided to just completely remove that just because, you know, a couple things. I was having an issue, a couple of things. So I had to have this like metal thing like over here, kind of like a cover, because with the metal thing, it would splash water down and it would splash water up. So that was the main thing that I wanted to get rid of, was just that splashing. But now, because I removed this is lowered, and then we have more splashing on this side, so I have to have a cover on this side, which is fine. A little change, we moved all the macroalgae here. I put in these frag racks down here anyways, just to kind of get it lifted in the air, so that way we have a little bit more aeration down under there. It seems like, you know, the macroalgae is starting to grow back a little bit better. I was having trouble with these guys growing for whatever reason. Like, it was doing really well, and then all of a sudden, like, all of them melted back, and then I had like only like a little bit left. So I had bought a handful more, put it back in here. They're starting to grow again. The colors are still really nice, and I ended up gluing the Hypnia, the blue Hypnia, on these rocks because I figured maybe they needed some sort of like thing to grab onto to grow. But yeah, anyways. This little guy is alone. He was up on top and on the main display, and he was getting picked on because there was like 3 of them that was picking on him. And these 2 are a pair, so obviously we can't have them, you know, with this guy. So anyways, he's in here by himself. He seems to enjoy it. And then also, so over here, what I did differently, other than just remove this, and then this was, the water level was up here, so I had the back rack pretty high for the clams to get close to the light. But yeah, I was able to lower it. Basically everything's the same height. All the racks are just basically the lowest the lowest settings it could be, which is like an inch, and then the back one is an inch and a half or 2 inches. I'm sorry, so it's a little bit higher, and then the back rack with the clam is, you can see, you still have like maybe like 2.5 inches or 3 inches before it touches the water line. And I think as they grow, they'll reach the water line a lot more. They've been doing really well, to be honest. Like, look at them. They've just been really happy, just puffy. And I have some of the digis back here that were fragged to cut, and they are just super plump. Like, they just are crazy because they're so close to the light. But these are all of my mushrooms that I can't keep up in the display. So for example, I tried to put in like this electus mushroom here, this guy right here, up in the display, and they started like the angels started biting it just because I think it's like the color they were attracted to or whatever. And also all these mushrooms, chalices that I can't keep. Like the chalice, both of these chalice I can't keep up there, but I can keep the Hollywood Stunner, which is weird. I think it's the color or something, or the tissue, whatever, but I can't keep these guys up there, so they have to be down here. So here are some more power balls, some other mushrooms. I didn't get anything new that you guys saw from the last video. So everything is pretty much the same in terms of mushroom. I did probably frag a couple pieces here and there, just kind of see if it can grow or just, you know, propagate. The Godzilla though, I'm really happy about this guy here. I'm actually starting to get it to grow correctly because I said like maybe like 2 or 3 already Godzillas, and for whatever reason they'll do well. I had the crash, so I had a tank crash, and that tank crash like basically wiped out my Godzillas, unfortunately. They were doing really well then, and then I had another one that didn't do really well, but finally I got this one here that started to do well. I did make some minor changes on the lighting to try to reduce some of the algae down here. I put it on more on the bluer side than the white, because I actually had pretty much all these pretty much similar to a setting where macroalgae was, you know, for macroalgae to grow. So it's only this one that has more white light. These ones I think I cut off like an hour and a half of white light. This one's the same because we have macroalgae down here. There's no corals in there. Will hopefully grow more macroalgae on that side, or the algae will be on that side. And everything else is on the bluer side. Same thing with the top. I actually moved because there's no, you know, macroalgae that I have. I had the settings all the same, but now I went back, I tweaked it. I cut off basically 1 hour of like white light, 1 or 1.5 hour of white light. So it's more on the blue side. So hopefully that will help with the growth of the corals up here, and then also cut the algae down. So because of that, I think I need to remove maybe 1 or 2 of the urchins because they won't have as much algae up top here for them to munch on, and that might be an issue. I do have urchins down here on these, and they're already munching on stuff down here, and I'm just worried about these guys because I do have like 1, 2, 3, and I think 4 urchins on here. And then I have like 3 down here because this one's always just has a lot of algae. So I might have to either move 1 guy down here or even 2 down here because there's more algae down here for them to eat, or vice versa or something like that. We gotta figure this out. But yeah, I do have some actual new corals coming in the next couple weeks here. We'll do an update next time to see those corals once they settle in and stuff like that. I got some more mushrooms, obviously. I'm starting to convert this tank into more of a mushroom tank. I just like more mushrooms nowadays, and that's just something I'm gravitating towards. So we'll get some of those going, and we'll let you guys know what we have. But yeah, so it's not feeding time yet. I would feed them, but it's not quite 11 yet, so we'll do that later. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoy this update. Just kind of going through the tank real fast. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. Until next time guys, peace.